Good morning. Talk 97.3FM, 104.1FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sand Hills. It is time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man, Wednesday style. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel.
Morning, Moore County. Hey, a little cool this morning. You snowflakes better get your mittens and woolly hats out. Bundle up. Don't want you to catch a chill. The rest of you, get ready, get to work. Sun's up. Time's a-wasting.
All right, you got your standing orders. Don't forget, of course, this program is being seen around the world as we speak at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is where the link's located. One click of that will get you where you're going. If you're on your mobile device, your YouTube app will do the work. Just put Mornings with the Leader Man in there. And if you're on your mobile device and just looking for an audio stream, well, you can tap into that simply by using the streaming service such as TuneIn, iTunes, Streama. All of those will work. Many others will too. Just put WEEB in the search. Some of those listening online this morning include Huntington Beach, California, Denver, Colorado, Carolina Beach, North Carolina, where else? Florence, Alabama, Centralville, Georgia, Olympia, Washington. The good folks up in Pequay Arena online this morning. Great Falls, Minnesota. Canada's online. Farmington, New Hampshire. Sun City, Arizona. We're everywhere. Alberta, Canada. Beansville, Canada. Just to name a few. I got right now 83,000 people listening. Is that enough? This is just a random sample. Yeah. All right, I didn't tell you can stop singing. Keep going. I want to hear my... There you go. Anyway, that's how you listen online. And you always get it off of our website at talk973.com. Upper right-hand corner of every page has an icon that says, on the air, listen live. Tap it once, you're listening just that quick. And nobody's going to be coming along and cutting you off like AT&T and Verizon and everybody else and Roku and Fire Stick. Everybody seems to work so hard to cut your TV off that you can't keep it on long enough to watch anything.
They do.
What's with that? Oh, they're saving on loyalty payments. I don't care. I pay for something to come out of that thing until I tell you to quit. Keep it coming. I mean, it's just that bad with the satellite service too.
Yeah. Mine's been blinking here lately.
Yeah. It's like, what do I got to do to keep it on? Oh, you're sitting there. I literally was watching the Super Bowl, and it cut off because I didn't click the button within 3 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And I start getting a screensaver up there. I'm like, you sorry sons of,
Yeah.
If I were legislator, there'd be legislation on the floor of whichever house I was in, and they'd be stopping that. I think we could legislate it here in North Carolina, couldn't we? If you serve in North Carolina, you can't cut off the picture.
Well, you would think so, but,
That's what I'd tell them. Make it law. Because, like I said, I'm paying for something to come out of that TV. And as long as I got it on, I expect something to come out of it. Otherwise, you're stealing from me. I didn't pay for blank screen. I don't see it as part of your package.
Right.
Oh, blank screen included in the package. Oh, boy, let me get that one. Even if I got to pay an extra $1, I'd do it. Not to have a blank screen. Because it gets annoying as hell. You come home from work and you want to cut the TV on. You don't have to go find the other remote to cut, the program on.
Right.
And then, what was I going to say? It was important, but I had a Joe Biden moment here.
Oh, no, you're turning into creepy Uncle Joe.
What was it, Steve? It'll come to me. But, yeah, it just gets annoying that they continually, if they work as hard to keep my picture on as they do to cut it off, we'd have something.
Yeah, that's true. They've got a lot of little gimmicks going all the time.
Yeah, and it's just pure stealing when they cut my program off. I paid for it. Provide it. Or give me some money back. But yeah, if I could avoid, just like I pay Hulu an extra, $2 or something a month. to get no commercials.
Right.
Worth every penny of it. To me.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can actually see a program in continuity there and without any interruptions. And you know what? It makes sense, so I don't forget where I was. And I don't have to sit through a bombardment of commercials.
Or, yeah, like a lot of the shows at the last 10 minutes, 7 minutes are commercial.
Last 15 minutes, nothing but solid commercials and about 6 minutes of programming.
Yeah.
At the most. More like 4 minutes.
Well, it's when you go on any of these programs and you see that, hey, here's a show that you've watched before that took an hour, and there's only 42 minutes there, or less.
Yeah.
I saw one that was only 38 minutes.
Well, I had our engineer here at the station. He used to work at a Fox network, and one of his early jobs there was to take MASH, cut 5 minutes out,
Right.
and so they could stick 5 more minutes of commercials in it. And then on top of that, they ran MASH 5 extra minutes. Yeah. So it wasn't from 12 to 12:30. It was 12 to 12:35 for that episode, with 5 minutes cut out.
Right.
So that's an extra 10 minutes of commercials right there. It's ridiculous. And it was only 22 minutes to begin with. So it becomes half and half. And like It's a Wonderful Life, which NBC bought the rights to. That's why you never see the colorized version anymore. I mean, when we were younger, remember, you had colorized. It was on every day somewhere. Right. TBS everybody had it, and then they bought the rights to it, and they show it twice a season. And, I looked it up on IMDb, and it's from the start of the movie to the end of the credits is 90 minutes.
Right.
But NBC makes it a 3-hour event.
3 hours, yes, indeed.
So guess where that other hour and a half comes from?
Yeah, the happy polar bear, the friendly polar bear, Santa Claus, the reindeer, everybody else got to run through. Penguins, I forgot penguins too. Even though they're from the South Pole.
I mean, they bought it, so I guess they can do what they want to. I just choose not to ever watch it anymore. Because it used to be fun to watch. I like the colorized version, but...
Well, a lot of the purists don't. But
the purists don't have to watch it.
It's nice to see the contrast sometimes.
Yeah. You have a choice.
Yeah.
Now you have no choice. You have a choice of watching hour and a half of commercials or not. And holy cow, when TBS runs Gone with the Wind with commercials.
Oh, that's an all-day affair.
Yeah, 3-hour movie. They make it 5.5 hours. Yeah. So guess what the other 2.5 hours are? And they run over 500 commercials during that program. Now, tell me your mind can keep up with 500 commercials.
Did you count them all?
No, I did for 1 hour and just multiply.
Okay. Well, I never watch it that way, so that's why I don't know any of these logos and things, catchphrases.
Gotta get with it, Colonel. There's nothing. When it's a commercial, you need something to do, so you might as well count them.
Well, I'd rather read a book.
You'd have time to read one before it got back from a commercial break. Okay. All right, 7:36. Of course, Zoom World Extended Zone will be here at 8:30 this morning. In the meantime, let's see if we can slap a smile on your face somehow here with our sound bites. SUVs are all the rage these days. I drive one. Colonel drives one. And a lot of people drive either a full SUV or what I call the in-between SUVs.
Tweeners, yeah.
Yeah, it's between a sedan and an SUV. Yeah. But it has a lot of the SUV features. It's just not as high off the ground.
Right. Well, Ford has done away with all their sedans. That's all they have. What? All their sedans. Yeah. All they have are SUVs now.
Yeah. And I like them.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
And plus, they offer more protection. Especially my twin turbocharged carburetors.
That's what you needed.
I did. I knew something was missing in my life, and I found it there.
Turbo, fuel injected. Yeah.
4-wheel drive. Right. Can't keep me down now. Well, the payments can, but...
Well, you got a lot more room in them. They're much more comfortable to ride in. I don't know.
Yeah, when I carry my dogs everywhere, it's they're not right on me. Yeah. They got more comfort and more places to distribute their hair to.
Well, most of them are easier to get in and out of. You don't have to. You don't feel like you're sitting down on the floor or on the ground, and you don't have to climb up like some of the big pickups. I don't know why some of those don't come with a step stool.
I was going to say they need a step ladder just to get in the thing.
But most of the SUVs are fairly comfortable. You might have to lift your right cheek up a little bit to get in there, but most of them you slide right in.
Well, I like it because I'm a little higher off the ground. It's not excessive. I can just barely see over the top of the car, which calms me down.
Right.
It doesn't feel like I'm looking at a bumper everywhere I go.
Yeah.
I look like I can see some landscaping. But there's a new Ford out there. You haven't heard of this one yet. It's the Fordzilla.
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 Move over, Chevy Suburban and Toyota Sequoia. Now get ready for the biggest SUV ever, the Fordzilla. No problem transporting the whole team to the football game. This thing is huge. It's perfect for families like the Duggars who just keep having kids. Seats 23 comfortably. The Fordzilla is so big, it even has its own Starbucks.
I've got a grande Java chip double espresso for Mom.
Forget about fitting it into your garage. It'll barely fit in your driveway. The Fordzilla. Because 8 kids is a lot, but 19 kids is, well, you do the math.
Well, they already had that. That was called the Ford Excursion.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. I looked at one of those one day, and I was like, why would you build that thing?
It's more like it's got more of a bus filling drive to it than it does.
Yeah.
You got to watch that rear end. All right, let's go into a mind of a millennial here for a moment.
Must I?
Yes, this is the thought pattern of a millennial here.
Uncle North here again with another puzzling story about millennials. The other day I noticed one of my younger workers had some food delivered for lunch. I said, oh, now that's convenient. You order food and they bring it to you. The only perplexing part was this paycheck-to-paycheck complainer ordered a $5 sandwich that they charged him $12 to deliver. So I said, you do realize that if you got in your car and you drove 3 blocks, that $5 sandwich wouldn't have cost you $17. He said he didn't have a car. He Ubers everywhere he goes. And if he would have Ubered, it would have been a $20 sandwich, so he actually saved himself some money. I then took my sandwich that I had brought from home and threw it in the trash because I just lost my appetite.
There you go. Yeah, I buy a $5 sandwich, pay $12 to get it delivered to me. And I figure I saved money because I didn't have to buy an Uber to go get it.
Yep. There you go.
There you go. That's sound economic policy there. Hey, that sounds like our school board, doesn't it?
Now, I don't know what that sounds like.
Giving away money.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's... Yeah, no kidding.
Now, you have a lot of experience with wildlife. Let me ask you about turkeys.
Ooh, turkeys.
Turkeys, wild turkeys.
Wild turkeys, yes.
Not the drinking kind, but
I've seen a few.
How aggressive do they get?
They can get aggressive if it's the right time of year and all that. Is this the thing where there's a group of them, flock of them running around some little community?
You mean, I'll throw you some background turkey stuff there for you.
Yeah, they can. I don't know what the situation. I've never seen that, but
This is a story about a little community being attacked.
Right. Yeah.
Neighborhood in Boston, as a matter of fact, is dealing with 3 wild turkeys that randomly harass people and peck at them.
Yeah, it's Boston, so. Yeah.
Here's the community speaking.
It's extremely scary. It's frightening. If you're walking, they come up extremely, extremely close to you, and they come.
I messed up.
It's extremely scary. It's frightening. If you're walking, they come up extremely, extremely close to you, and they come forward as if they're going to bite you?
The one incident I had was with my mailman. I heard a lot of commotion. I looked outside, and they had him cornered across the street.
My husband has gone out maybe 4 to 5 times to sweep them away from various people. I'm actually fearful to just go walking on my own.
No.
Yeah. Well, generally speaking, when we've had something like that go on, it's somebody has been feeding them, which, entices them to hang around in a particular area, and then they go wander around, and they, they're used to somebody kind of coming out and throwing a handful of grain or whatever out there for them. So then they see, hey, here's some other dude. Where's my corn? It's like going to the petting zoo.
So the bleeding heart's going to get these turkeys killed if they're not careful.
We had to do it to a bear. We had a lady was feeding a bear, and this is on the back of the Great Dismal Swamp. And, she's out there, and every day she's throwing stuff out. And, one of the neighbors complained, so we go over there, and you look in the wood line, there's the bear sitting there. And in this lady's edge of her backyard, and he runs out into the swamp when he wants to, but he's waiting for her literally to come out. About 20 minutes later, here she comes, dumps some stuff out. The bear meanders over and starts munching away.
Well, it beats the disposal.
Well, the problem is this is in a community. This is in an area with
it becomes a death sentence for the bear.
Yeah, because there's kids out waiting for the bus, etc. And here's this dumb this individual out there feeding the bear. And we had to go take care of the bear.
Yeah, you want to kill the bear, be kind to it.
That's why you don't feed wildlife.
Right. You don't feed the deer or anything else. You just leave them alone.
It's generally against the law. I don't know. I've never paid attention here to the North Carolina statutes. In Virginia, it's against the law to feed wildlife. You shouldn't do it.
Well, here's a situation you don't want to be in. A 63-year-old farmer in Nebraska had to cut his own leg last month.
Ouch.
Had to cut his own leg off.
Yeah.
He was transferring a load of grain into a bin and got his leg caught in the long metal screw that moves the grain to the top of the bin. He was alone. He didn't have his phone, or it was downloading new programs.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he used a pocket knife, saw that in the movie, to saw his leg off halfway between below the knee. His story is graphic, but his attitude about the incident is impressive.
We were moving corn and taking from one place to the other. But I was in that routine like I always used to do. I didn't think of it. Stepped in the hopper in that little hole. It just sucked my leg in, and I was trying to pull it out. And when it first happened, I can remember telling myself, this ain't good. This is not good at all. And I had my pocket knife. I thought, well, the only way I'm getting out of here is cut it off. So I just started sawing on it. When I was cutting it, the nerve endings, I could feel them just ping when I'd start sawing around that pipe. And all at once it went and let me go. So I got the heck out of there. It is what it is. Make the best of it is all you can do. It could have always been worse. I paid the price here of being in a hurry and not paying attention.
Yeah, I tell you, heavy equipment, farm stuff, I mean, there are accidents waiting to happen. You got to be extremely careful when you're operating all that stuff. Everybody
and observe the safety protocols.
Yeah, there's Mr. Farmery, blah blah, and you don't think about it, but yeah, they're out there. There are a lot of heavy equipment, a lot of things moving around.
A lot of things to kill you with.
Things slip, things don't go the way they're supposed to go, and boom, you're done.
Well, yeah, it could also be. Here's a new hazard you need to worry about at work. It seems like construction work. This seems tragic and avoidable. In other words, Florida, a construction worker showed up to work on a house outside of Tampa last Wednesday, moved his loaded gun from his waistband to his pocket, slipped on some debris, and accidentally shot and killed a guy working on the roof.
Okay.
The police, I dare say the safety wasn't on.
Well, yeah.
If it didn't have a safety, it wasn't, and he shouldn't have had it in a way that it could be shot.
Yeah.
Anyway, the police didn't inspire much confidence either. They said he was unintentionally trying to shoot somebody. Here they are.
Detectives have since learned by conducting interviews with one witness that was at the scene and also the subject who fired the shot, that the person who fired the shot was unintentionally trying to shoot somebody. The person who fired the shot was actually getting out of his truck, slipped on a piece of construction debris at this point, and he was transitioning the gun between a waistband, his pocket, at some point where the gun is fired unintentionally.
Why was his finger on the trigger?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to picture. So he's doing 2 or 3 different things at the same time. He's stepping out of the truck while trying to put the pistol in his pocket.
Yeah, but you don't have to put your finger on the trigger.
Slipped and, okay. It's...
Inexperience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, but he was unintentionally trying. No,
What if he had a CC permit?
Well, I don't know what the laws in Florida are, but he's just got some issues on handling.
Well, he's now got manslaughter issues on his hands, probably.
Well, that's intent. You're supposed to prove intent. He didn't intend to shoot the guy, apparently, although he might have been trying, according to the police officer.
He intended to move the gun, and he did so in such a way that it killed somebody.
Yeah, poor choice of words there, but yeah.
Let me give you some happy news. There's a 17-year-old kid in Ohio. Now, you wouldn't think this would be possible from a millennial, but it is when they put their mind to it. 17-year-old kid in Ohio who used to weigh 325 pounds. And he completely changed his diet about a year ago, walked to school every day, and lost 115 pounds. Here he is along with one of his teachers.
I really liked food, to be honest with you, and pizza was my favorite. Any type of pizza was good, too. One day I looked in the mirror, and I was like, whew, yeah, you've gone pretty far.
His story is not the typical story. Kids are beating the odds every day, but he did more than just beat the odds.
You need to want to do it yourself, and each day is a new day.
And here's some more good news. Nobody should ever be locked up for a crime they didn't commit. Don't think anybody disagrees with that.
No.
But it happens every day. 45, because we're so quick to convict, seems like. It's all about the win in the courtroom instead of the truth in a lot of cases. But a 45-year-old guy named Jeffrey Dukovic was wrongly convicted of murder back in 1990 when he was 17 and spent 16 years in jail. Then along comes DNA evidence that proved another guy did it, and Jeffrey won a $42 million lawsuit.
Yeah.
Take 16 years of prime years away from you.
Well,
there's some value there.
Yeah.
He just graduated from Pace Law School in New York on Monday and was asked why he didn't just retire on a beach somewhere.
Because I can't forget about the people that I metaphorically left behind, other people who were wrongfully imprisoned. I've been given some opportunities, and not everybody in my position has had, formal education-wise, so I feel a tremendous moral responsibility to do as much as I can, and that's the opposite direction of going to the beach on Florida for a life of a never-ending vacation. I can't believe the trajectory that my life has taken.
Here's another little fact for you. If you go to trial, the judge gets it wrong, the verdict wrong, 25% of the time, and the jury gets it wrong a third of the time.
Yeah, no.
So the key piece of info you need to take from that is do not go to trial if you can possibly avoid it.
Well, does that account for guilty and not guilty verdicts?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we get a guilty guy runs off and...
No, I don't know about that, but I'm sure to get off.
25%, I mean,
right,
it could be either way.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Another piece of good news. Who knew I had 3 pieces in one day? That didn't come out right, did it? Get our heads out of the gutter. A little boy named Phoenix could not break a board during a demonstration at his karate class in Florida recently, so he started crying. There's no crying in karate.
No.
But then his classmates started chanting his name. He kept trying and eventually broke the board. Then they gave him a group hug.
Break down fast. Run fast. Let's go, boy. Heel. You got hit it with the heel. Yes, you can do it. Come on. Yes, you can do it. But you guys do this. Look at me. You have to hit it hard, though. You cannot hit it light. You have to hit it hard. Go. That's not hard. You touch it. Come on, baby. Look, Phoenix. You can do anything, boy. You can do it. You can do anything, boy.
The secret is you have to punch through.
Yeah.
Your contact point is actually behind the board.
Exactly. You got to see the other side of the board with your fist there or foot there. Tiger Woods, John Daly's now using a cart these days because of a chronic knee injury. So Tiger Woods burned him pretty good at the PGA press conference yesterday about this. Here's what Tiger said.
As far as JD taking a cart, well, I walked with a broken leg, so...
Ouch. Yeah, that is a little bit of a burn.
Yeah.
Do they have some animosity or something?
Well, I would say to Tiger, remember how bad your back hurt?
Yeah.
If you could have still played golf with the cart, would you have wanted to? The knees, I got a real pressing knee from arthritis, and I can sympathize with things big time.
Well, I'm just wondering what enticed Tiger. That's not Tiger-like, if you ask me. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard him say anything kind of mean or rotten. Or maybe they've taken that quote or that statement out of context. Maybe he was just giving him a little bit of a needle about it. I don't know.
Well, he's probably feeling like, there are many a day I'd like to have a cart too.
Yeah.
When it's hot and sweltery out there, and I could be fresher getting to the ball and all that, but no, I got to walk in the heat, humidity, and everything else, and
rain, cold.
Yeah, rain, cold, everything. And when you ride the cart, you get a little breeze that helps cool you back down.
Yeah. I guess, like I said, I don't know. I don't have the full context there. I don't know if there's animosity between Daly and Tiger and whether he was really trying to jab him hard or not. But yeah, I thought you couldn't ride, period.
Yeah.
As a professional.
The Milwaukee Bucks are hosting free morning workouts for the public with a professional instructor. The first one was Monday, and only one person showed up. Here's the one who did, and the instructor who seems overly optimistic.
It went good.
There's room here for a few more people, don't you think?
You can say that.
You want to invite some other people down?
Yes, that's the plan, if anyone will get up at 7 o'clock in the morning.
I think people are still a little confused about, is it really happening? Is it really free? How do I sign up? So I'm sure it'll get busy in a couple of weeks.
Right.
Pretty simple. A warm-up, strength training with some core, cardiovascular stuff with some conditioning, like track type of workouts.
Yeah.
There you go, Jeff. Free workout instructor for you. And
yeah, they don't need me in the morning.
And see, I haven't heard from this girl in a long time. Last night on Watch What Happens Live, Paris Hilton said Lindsay Lohan was beyond lame and embarrassing. Here's Paris.
Paris, you've recently said that you never want Lindsay Lohan's name spoken in the same sentence as yours. Paris, say 3 nice things about Lindsay Lohan.
She's beyond.
Okay, that's one. That's a pretty nice one to say that she's beyond.
Lame and embarrassing.
Thrilling shows that they have for the summer, isn't it?
Yeah, another waste of
TV.
Yeah, I would have gone somewhere else.
Human Flash?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but she makes a hell of a video, doesn't she?
I guess. I don't know. Never seen it. The few things I've ever heard her say or come out of her mouth, just, lead me to believe I got better things to do.
All right, some things we need to know today so we do not sound stupid at the water cooler. Shooting on the next Bond movie has been suspended after Daniel Craig was injured on the set and flown to a hospital in the U.S. New research from Parks Associates shows that approximately 22% of U.S. broadband households use an antenna to watch over-the-air broadcast.
Yes.
Cutting the cord. Days after NBC canceled Steve Harvey's daytime talk show, they replaced him as the host of Little Big Shots with Melissa McCarthy. I guess his surprised, dumb look is worn off. Because he gives that, or, it wears after a while.
I don't know. I don't watch him. Who's Melissa McCarthy?
Actress.
Actress, okay.
U.S. News and World Report has called Washington the best state in the country. Who the hell reads U.S. News and World Report? American Idol will return for a third season on ABC, but there may be new judges as the current panel is pretty darn expensive. Michael Jackson's son, Prince, graduated from Loyola Marymount University over the weekend with a degree in business management. It's scientists say that the moon is shrinking because of tectonic plates colliding and causing moon shakes.
Moon shakes?
Moon shakes. Yeah. And Russell Wilson bought his mom a house for Mother's Day. All right, coming up on 8 o'clock, we'll check all your news, sports, and weather starting right now.
Comfortable conditions will remain in place, but our warming trend will begin as we go into the afternoon. Temperatures this morning are on the chilly side, but expect them in the mid-70s today with increasing clouds on tap. For tonight, we'll fall into the low to mid-50s, making it a warmer start to the day on Thursday. And by Thursday afternoon, our highs will head into the lower 80s and mid-80s to the south. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sand Hills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Alabama taking center stage in the national abortion debate as Republican Governor Kay Ivey considers whether to sign a bill that would ban virtually all abortions in the state. The Human Life Protection Act received final legislative approval when the Alabama Senate passed it. Republican State Senator Clyde Chambliss says the measure is aimed at forcing the U.S. Supreme Court to reconsider Roe v. Wade.
That said, in 1973, that abortion is illegal on demand, essentially anytime, anywhere, for any reason.
The governor has not said whether she'll sign that measure in Alabama. America's baby bust is not over. The government reports the nation's birth rates last year hit record lows for women in their teens and 20s, resulting in the fewest babies born in 32 years. The newly released report is based on more than 99% of U.S. birth records. Growing tension between the U.S. and Iran is affecting American diplomatic operations in Iraq.
The U.S. State Department told staff affected in the embassy in Baghdad and the consulate in Erbil that they should leave Iraq by commercial transport as soon as possible. It's not clear how many employees this will apply to. An earlier statement told U.S. citizens not to travel to Iraq and for those already there to be vigilant, but did not order them to leave.
That's the BBC's Sebastian Usher. Germany's military says it has suspended training of Iraqi soldiers because of rising tensions in the region. The death toll stands at 6 in Monday's mid-air collision of two sightseeing planes over Alaska. The National Transportation Safety Board, which is investigating the accident, says the aircraft collided at roughly 3,300 feet. On Wall Street this morning, stock futures in the red. Right now, Dow futures down about 74 points. S&P futures off 8. NASDAQ futures down 18 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
If this were just any door, and this were just any ignition, connected to just any transmission, in just any vehicle, then perhaps it would be okay to buy it from just anyone. But this is not just any car. It's a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. Every detail has been inspected and road tested by highly skilled Mercedes-Benz technicians, and it's all backed by an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 5 years, which makes the decision of where to buy one simple. Your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. The Certified Pre-Owned Sales event going on now through May 31st. Come in today and take advantage of 2 years of complimentary prepaid maintenance and special financing offers available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. Because in the end, it's absolute confidence in genuine Mercedes-Benz parts, or it isn't. It's either Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned, or it isn't.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties.
Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas marking Memorial Day this year with the release of a new book about his days serving at Arlington National Cemetery.
Sacred Duty is a book about Cotton's days serving as part of the Old Guard at Arlington National Cemetery.
And there's pictures of me in Sacred Duty performing funerals in Section 60.
From 2007, and you can see in the background a virtually empty green field.
But now Section 60 is almost completely filled because of the ongoing deaths we've had.
From the longer-than-expected wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, Section 60 also being filled up by dying veterans from World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Bell Agnew, Capitol Hill.
Female military veterans serving in the House say they're setting up a caucus that advocates for women service members and veterans. That's because the population of women who serve or have served is climbing. They have different health issues than the male veterans. News and analysis at townhall.com. San Francisco says no to facial recognition.
By an 8-1 vote, supervisors Tuesday approved a ban on police using the technology, making it the first city in the nation with such a restriction. The ban is part of broader oversight legislation that orders San Francisco departments to spell out details of any surveillance currently in use and any surveillance they hope to use. Departments will need to get board approval to continue using or acquiring the technology. The legislation bans municipal use, but not personal, business, or federal government use of Face ID technology. Ron DeRockstra reporting.
Police in Madison County, Tennessee say a 3-year-old boy's mother was doing drugs when the toddler found a gun in their home and fatally shot himself. The Jackson Sun says the mother and her boyfriend are now in jail, and they're facing charges including negligent homicide. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Retirement. It could be the best years of your life. You'll finally get to do what you want to do. Travel, golf, spend time with the grandkids, or just relax at home. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning in to Grant Perry of Pinehurst Capital, Saturday mornings at 7 and Sunday mornings at 11 for Tee Up Your Retirement. Don't wing it, plan for it. Tune in every Saturday morning at 7 and Sunday morning at 11 for Tee Up Your Retirement with Grant Perry. Pinehurst Capital Inc. is a registered investment advisor in the state of North Carolina.
I think we can all agree weekends are delicious. Well, your weekend just got more delicious. The Hickory Tavern is now serving brunch on Saturdays and Sundays from 11 to 2 with several entrees to choose from. Baked omelet filled with sauteed peppers and onions, tomato and goat cheese, and topped with bacon crumble and sour cream. The Tower of Power beefy blueberry pancakes, avocado toast, fresh sliced avocado and tomato salsa piled on sourdough toast and topped with balsamic reduction, candied banana and walnut French toast, mini squares, and last but definitely not least, the Chicken Waffle Witch, a Belgian waffle with hand-breaded chicken breast with maple sausage gravy. Each entree comes with a side of bacon. Wash it down with a shareable jumbo mimosa, carafe, or Bloody Mary. Get out of the box and into the Hickory Tavern for brunch, Saturdays and Sundays from 11 to 2.
Hello, this is Chris Ennis, Service Manager of Pinehurst Toyota Hyundai. We want to thank all of our loyal customers for entrusting us with the care and maintenance of their vehicles over the years. But did you know we also service Lexus, saving you a trip to Raleigh or Charlotte? In fact, our factory-trained and certified ASE technicians can service any type of vehicle. Your complete satisfaction is our #1 goal, so please consider Pinehurst Toyota Hyundai for all your vehicle service needs. We are open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. and open on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. We can be reached at 910-692-2424. We look forward to seeing you.
Without proper soil pH, plants can't get the full amount of nutrients they need. An improperly tuned carburetor runs inefficiently as well. Your body works the same way, and some of the medications we use actually deplete certain vitamins and minerals. That's a fact. Health Innovations Pharmacy offers a line of multivitamins designed specifically to address those depletion efficiency issues, like magnesium deficiency for diabetics, Replenish multivitamins come in 6 different formulations for those on hormone replacement therapy, high blood pressure and cholesterol reducers, diabetics, hypoglycemic, and acid-blocking meds. These are complete multivitamins, thereby reducing your vitamin budget. See Tim or one of his pharmacists at Health Innovations Pharmacy about the benefits of Replenish multivitamins and how they can help get your system back in balance. Health Innovations Pharmacy on Pinehurst Avenue in Southern Pines. Locally owned and serving Moore County since 2001.
NCN News. I'm Mike Raley, a state senator who sponsored a controversial bathroom bill that voided anti-discrimination protections for LGBT people, won Tuesday's Republican primary in the 9th District. Senator Dan Bishop topped 9 other GOP candidates, and he'll face Democrat Dan McCready in the September 10th general election. Bishop told WSOC News last night.
People know that I'm a reliable conservative. They want to send that into this campaign. And I think that's really what it amounts to.
President Trump told his son is returning to Capitol Hill to testify in a Senate committee's Russian investigation next month. He received a subpoena after skipping requests to testify. Nancy Cordes has
Some
more.
Republicans, like Lindsey Graham, are recommending that Trump Jr. show up in mid-June and simply take the Fifth and exercise his right to avoid self-incrimination.
U.S.-Iran tensions increased today, with the State Department ordering all non-essential, non-emergency government staff to leave Iraq immediately, presumably because of increased danger from Iran. CBS News foreign affairs analyst Pamela Falk reports from the UN.
World powers have attempted to calm nerves at the UN Security Council in recent months, but divisions between the U.S. and Russia and China have prevented action in the critical area of war and peace in the Middle East.
29-year-old Terrell Galen Miles escaped from the Nash County Detention Center on Tuesday. He's now back in custody. At a press conference, Nash County Sheriff Keith Stone explained how it all happened.
Preliminary investigation shows that the lock was malfunctioning or the lock was deliberately sabotaged so that it would not work correctly.
Governor Roy Cooper's public safety chief received a $23,000 salary increase in April, a decision based in part on the secretary's growing workload. Department of Public Safety Secretary Eric Hooks now earns over $179,000. You're listening to NCN News.
One night with $1 million on the line. These All-Stars aren't racing for titles. They're racing for cash. NASCAR racing is back. The 35th NASCAR Monster Energy All-Star Race this Saturday. The All-Star Race experience includes free concerts by HAR and Hairball. Tickets start at just $39 and kids tickets are just $10. Experience it for yourself at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Get your tickets today. Call 800-455-FANS.
Where are the leaders of tomorrow shaped and molded? They're shaped on the courts, fields, mats, and tracks of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. The NCHSAA is our 417-member schools, impacting communities across the state of North Carolina. From Murphy to Manteo, the NCHSAA is coaches, administrators, and officials working tirelessly to invest in the next generation of leaders for our great state. Who are we? We are high school. We are the NCHSAA.
2 more bodies were recovered after an accident in southeast Alaska involving 2 sightseeing planes. Jonathan Vigliotti reports the survivors are trying to piece together the events leading up to the fatal accident.
U.S. Coast Guard Senior Chief Petty Officer Jeremy Kastner says rough terrain complicated the recovery efforts.
What strikes you about this one? This particular case, very tragic case. Our hearts go out for everybody involved. It's a tough one. It definitely is.
10 people survived. Some were pulled from the water by local volunteers like Jacob Bauer, who joined the rescue effort.
We're going 50 miles an hour.
It's a time of year when lots of students are graduating, and many of those graduates will soon start to pay back student loans. The Better Business Bureau of Eastern North Carolina is warning about potential scams. Spokeswoman Alyssa Parker told ABC 11 that if it seems too good to be true, it probably is.
So that's a huge red flag if someone says that I can get rid of your student debt in minutes.
New findings may make you think twice about taking a dip.
It's not just the yellow patches you have to watch out for.
A new survey by the Water Quality and Health Council shows it's the entire pool. 51% of Americans surveyed admit taking a dip instead of a shower to rinse off after exercise or yard work. And 64% say they know it doesn't really get you clean. What's more, the chairman of the Water Council says when dirt, sweat, and things like deodorant react with chlorine, there's less of the chemical available to kill germs. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
A proposed agreement reached between North Carolina alcohol wholesalers and small breweries over who distributes their beer as they grow is on tap on a state Senate committee. It's already been passed by the House. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Our morning temperatures in the mid-40s and lower 50s will swiftly climb into the mid-70s by this afternoon. It is going to feel great outside. Our morning sunshine will also give way to partly cloudy skies this afternoon. Tonight will fall into the low to mid-40s, making it a warmer start to the day on Thursday. Thursday afternoon, highs will head into the lower 80s and mid-80s to the south. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Right now, here in the Sand Hills area, sunny and 55 degrees, humidity 77%, dew point 48, pressure is 3006, winds calm, visibility is at 10 statute miles. It's 8:13. Let's take a look at your Sand Hills news for this Wednesday hump day. After 3 years of study and debate, the Pinehurst Village Council on Tuesday approved revised standards and guidelines for work in its historic district. The pilot report said in the process, a plan to split the vast district into 3 smaller ones was scuttled, and the past practice of using a, quote, neighborhood standard in determining whether projects, remodeling, an existing home or new construction are congruent with the special character of the historic district has been abandoned because of legal concerns. Mayor Nancy Fiorillo said it was ironic that no one signed up to speak at the public hearing because the council voted unanimously to adopt the revised guidelines. And parents and students who support Moore County schools plan to redraw district-wide attendance lines over the next few years are taking issue with the intensity of the criticism that's arisen from those who categorically oppose redistricting. Though the school board isn't scheduled to adopt the plan until October, last week it unveiled a second draft of a proposal that would shift 180 students from Pinecrest feeder schools north and ultimately put 130 students in Northmore feeder schools by 2021. The plan aims to balance middle school enrollment between Southern, West Pines, New Century, and Cranes Creek, and to bring down enrollment at elementary schools situated in areas like Aberdeen and Bass, where growth is expected to take off in the coming years. At the board's regular meeting on Monday at Carthage Elementary, more than a dozen parents, students, and staff spoke during the period designated for public comment. That's your latest Sand Hills news this morning, but stand by. Here comes all your latest in sports right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. It is 8:16.
Carolina Hurricanes taking on the Bruins last night in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals in Raleigh. That's where the Hurricanes have been undefeated in the playoffs, but there was no rally last night, and the Hurricanes suffered their first home loss of the postseason. Bruins goalie Tuukka Rask made 35 saves for Boston as they beat the Hurricanes 2-1 and pushed Carolina to the brink of elimination. Neither team scored until Chris Wagner and Brad Marchand scored about 5 minutes apart in the second period for the Bruins' 6th straight playoff win. Rod Brind'Amour decided to go with goalie Curtis McElhenney instead of Peter Mrazek. He made 29 saves for the Hurricanes. Brind'Amour on last night's game.
Proud of the way we played that game. Other than the power play, the execution on that was obviously not good, but everything else in our game was the way we want to do it. Mac was great. He gave us a chance tonight. That's all you can ask. And the other guy was pretty special down the other end. So it was a good battle there.
The Hurricanes will look to save their season in Game 4 on home ice. That'll be Thursday night. It's win or go home. Golden State opened the NBA Western Conference Finals with a 116-94 rout of the Portland Trailblazers. Steph Curry nailed 9 3-pointers and scored a game-high 36 points to outperform Blazers guards Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum, who combined for 36 points on 11 of 31 shooting.
I haven't been through so many of these series. We understand what the drill is, and they're going to make adjustments and probably play really aggressive and assertive in the first half. Game 2, we got to be ready for that punch and keep playing hard.
Meanwhile, for basketball fans in New Orleans, it's a happy day.
The New Orleans Pelicans won Tuesday night's lottery. That means they'll pick first in the upcoming NBA draft and will most assuredly take Duke's Zion Williamson. Williamson says he's never been to New Orleans, barring something totally unforeseen. That is about to change. Bud Mishkin, CBS News.
This is NCN Sports.
The new FN 509 midsize 9mm pistol is now part of FN's legendary concealed carry lineup, and it is a natural fit. With its smaller grip frame modeled after the battle-proven million rounds tested FN 509, the FN 509 midsize comes with 2 15-round magazines and naturally improves concealability. Available at your local firearms dealer. FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
There are millions of unused and leftover opioid pills in North Carolina alone, enough to stretch from the mountains to the coast. These powerful prescription pills are contributing to an epidemic that takes 5 lives every day. But there is something more powerful than opioids. All of us. We can take back our extra pills and ask our healthcare providers about alternatives for pain. Together, we can take back our communities. Learn how you can help end the epidemic at morepowerfulnc.org.
Tiger Woods is being sued along with his girlfriend and his Woods Jupiter Corporation, which runs the Woods restaurant in Jupiter, Florida. The lawsuit states the employees, management, and owners of the Woods overserved a young man they knew was suffering with a disease of alcoholism, 24-year-old Nicholas Imsberger. Speaking at a PGA news conference in New York, Woods briefly addressed the lawsuit.
We're all very sad that Nick passed away. It was a terrible night, a terrible ending. And just we feel bad for him and his entire family. It's very sad.
Imsberger was an employee of Tiger Woods' restaurant. His blood alcohol level was nearly 3 times the legal limit when he died in a crash in December. Josh, Zach, NCN Sports.
Being overweight is the #1 health problem in America today. It leads to so many avoidable health issues. If you have a weight problem and finally want to do something about it, then do what I did and participate in the Transforming You Weight Loss Program, offered by Dr. Sharon Wright at Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes. It's a customized, physician-assisted program based on your body type and your goals. A healthier, more vibrant, spirited, and slimmer you emerges. Now, I lost 25 pounds in the first month and 50 pounds to date. That keeps me motivated. Now, the program is easy to follow. I'm Steve Leader Adams, and if I can do it, you can do it. Give Dr. Wright a call and set up your no-charge consultation about the Transforming You Weight Loss Program at 910-673-2225. That's White Chiropractic at 673-2225. At Sandhills Collision Center in Seven Lakes, we proudly serve all your automotive repair, auto body restoration, and collision repair needs. With our brand new state-of-the-art Chief straightening system and eco-friendly AmeriCure paint booth, you can rest assured that your vehicle, boat, or RV will receive top-notch repair and flawless paint jobs. And for all you aviators, we do aircraft body repair too. Sandhills Collision Repair Center is veteran-owned and offers a 5% discount to our military family. We give free estimate and accept all insurance and self-pay. All our ATECs will provide superior customer service from start to finish because we are committed to quality and prompt expert service. Bring your automobile, boat, or RV by today for a free quote at 135 Village View Drive in Seven Lakes. That's just 2 minutes from the Food Lion on Seven Lakes Drive. Or call us at 910-673-AUTO. That's 673-AUTO. Sandhills Collision Center, because you deserve the best.
I'm here with Aaron Cooper of Cooper Ford in Carthage to talk about service. Aaron, I know that service is a big deal in Cooper country. In fact, certified service after the sale is all part of the Cooper Promise.
That's right. At Cooper Ford, we promise to do what we say we're going to do, when and how we say we're going to do it. And speaking of service, May is Military Appreciation Month at Cooper Ford, and I'd like to personally thank all the men and women who have served this great country. It's always an honor to serve those who serve, and as a small token of our appreciation, during the month of May, all active, retired, or veteran military personnel will get one free oil change and up to $1,000 off any new or pre-owned vehicle with a valid military ID. With no games, no gimmicks, just upfront, honest pricing, and certified service after the sale. I'm Eric Cooper, and I want to know you by name. Come in today and let Cooper Ford show you how car buying should be.
Just off 15501 in Carthage. Just a few short minutes from the traffic circle. Or on the web at cooperford.net. Cooper Ford, working hard to be your hometown dealer.
You found it, your dream home. The perfect square footage on a quiet street. The midtown condo with the amazing roof deck. The country house on some acreage. Or maybe it's a little bungalow on the beach. Whatever your dream looks like, First Bank offers personalized loan programs. Great rates and exceptional service every time for everyone. Dreams happen at First Bank. Learn more by visiting a local branch or go to localfirstbank.com/mortgage.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Neck, shoulder, or back pain can be downright debilitating. If you have those issues, you already know that, and you don't need me to tell you about the opioid crisis. There's another, better way. I'm talking about chiropractic, a healing art that's also science. Dr. Sharon Wright of Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes invites you to come in for a discussion about how chiropractic works and could work for you. To be sure, there are many of you out there that have reached the proverbial dead end trying to treat and manage your pain.
This is Dr. Wright. I can't guarantee I can fix every problem, but I will tell you honestly whether chiropractic can be of help for your particular issue. Living with pain is not always the only option. Doesn't it make sense to explore every avenue before resigning yourself to the limitations of pain? Call our office today to schedule a consultation and start living again. 673-2225.
What keeps your house toasty warm, cooks your food and heats your water, and gives you a great excuse to hang out in front of your fireplace? Propane gas brought to you by McNeil Oil and Propane of Aberdeen. McNeil Oil and Propane can handle all of your propane or heating oil needs. Call them at 944-2329 and have them come out to fill your own tank, or they can provide you with a new one. When you need propane or heating oil, call McNeil Oil and Propane today at 944-2329. That's 944-2329.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. Well, here we go again. An organization called the Freedom from Religious Foundation did it again. They've demanded that San Jacinto County, a county about an hour north of Houston, take down 4 crosses from their courthouse. This organization is based out of Wisconsin, and when faced with challenges like this, communities just knuckle under, do what they're told. Too afraid to fight it out in court, too afraid to stand up. But not this time. These Texans decided they'd had it with this kind of thing. They decided that as a community, they were going to do something unusual and fight for their values. Hundreds of them gathered at a town hall and let the county officials know they wanted to keep those crosses, and so the commissioners voted unanimously to keep them. Now, I know a lot of you disagree with this. Some of you simple Simon types don't know much about the Constitution and actually think the words separation of church and state are written in there somewhere. Others of you are opposed for different reasons. I'm totally convinced there's no constitutional violation involved here. I also think that no outside influence needs to be used to decide what local people should do or not do. People are being abused in America. People are starving. We need education reform. Doo-doo is literally piling up in the streets of some major cities right beside all the needles. If you're going to get a cause, you ought to get one that'll help people. I hope you all have a good day. From the Zumwalt Zone.
Comfortable conditions will remain in place, but our warming trend will begin as we go into the afternoon. Temperatures this morning are on the chilly side, but expect them in the mid-70s today with increasing clouds on tap. For tonight, we'll fall into the low to mid-50s, making it a warmer start to the day on Thursday. And by Thursday afternoon, our highs will head into the lower 80s and mid-80s to the south. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills #1 morning show. Mornings with the leader man.
here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
Ready, max control?
Ready, switch on.
It's time to wake up now.
To wake up now.
The time has come to wake up.
I don't believe I ordered a wake-up call.
Do you know what today is?
What?
Hump day.
Wednesday's an over-the-hump day.
Hump day!
I don't know what that means, but I know where she humps.
So chins up, boobs out, it's showtime.
Good morning. Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sand Hills. It is time once again for Mornings with the Leader Man. I am Steve Wheeler Adams, along with Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond.
Morning, Moore County. Hey, time to sit down, be quiet, get your coffee cup, turn the volume up, and listen. Now hear this.
And, of course, John Zumwalt with us this morning again.
Good morning. I'm a little bit afraid to say anything after the Colonel told me to sit down and be quiet.
Don't forget, of course, we are being seen around the world on a live video stream. That's available to you right now at talk973.com. Top middle of the page is where that link's located, and you can also get us with your mobile device with your YouTube app. Just put Mornings with the Leader Man into the search. If you're on your mobile device just needing audio, we suggest many streaming services such as TuneIn, iTunes, Streama. All those are available, and we'll get you to us simply by putting WEEB into the search. And if you're on our website at talk973.com, upper right-hand corner of every page has a icon that says On the Air, Listen Live. Tap it once and you're listening just that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area, sunny today, 76 for a high. We liked yesterday so much we thought we'd bag it in here today. Tonight, another cool one. You can throw your windows open, low of 57. Partly cloudy tomorrow, warmer, 82 for a high. And then Mother Nature throws the heat at you. On Friday, you know it was coming, 90. Dew points around 64. Saturday, 92. And then Sunday, 90. Still with that dew point up there where you're going to sweat. And if you're out there on the asphalt, you're really going to sweat. Right now around the Sand Hills, winds are calm. Visibility 10 statute miles. Pressure 3006. 2.48. That's a good number. Let's bag that and hold that for the weekend. Humidity 77%. It's sunny and 55 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it is 8:29 past the hour on this Wednesday. It being Wednesday and everything, it's time for our extended Zumwalt Zone with the one and only John Zumwalt.
Well, actually, I'm not the one and only. I have a friend on Facebook named John Zumwalt, and seems to be a pretty good guy. I don't know him. He lives out of town, but let me get going. I got to tell you, I'm a little bit more disgusted with our school board officials right now than normally am, and I'll tell you why. I made the mistake of signing up Monday night to address the school board. Like an idiot, I honestly thought I could make a case, not for what I was saying, but rather for them to look into the facts themselves, independent of what I said or the school staff told them. I didn't mean for them to read the information provided to them by the school staff. I was hoping they would actually do the research themselves, because the things the staff puts out are correct, but they're not everything. They're not all the information. So my little pathetic talk, sorry to steal your tagline there, pilot, didn't make much of a dent. I should have saved time and gone out and talked to some of the trees by my house. It would have been a lot more peaceful. It would have accomplished just as much. Now, I'm not exactly naive. I know the schools are going to be putting out a little packet for the pathetic pilot to print. It's most likely out there now. I haven't looked, but that'll be the case. And they'll make it look good because they print part of it, but the school doesn't release everything to you. Now, don't worry, folks. I'm not going to sit here and take you through the whole case again. I promise you. But I do have a couple of things for you to think about, and I hope you will. Helena Wallen-Miller, she's the chairperson of the school board, and she's fond of announcing that the new Aberdeen Elementary School is not being built on an EPA chemical dump site. Well, that's right. It's being built close to one. Closest one is about half a mile away. Now, we have an EPA report, and Steve, we have a new one. Actually, we have a new old one that's been out for a long time. Steve is going to post it to the WEEB website. And that report says that between the mid-1930s, that's the mid-1930s, and 1987, millions of pounds of insecticide were produced in the area where we're building the new school. But so what? Is that a really big deal, or am I just making it into one? Well, I want you to decide that. One of the brand names was Superkill. There's nothing wrong with that. It sounds like something I'd buy if I wanted to kill insects, Superkill. And I'm not throwing that in to make it sound bad. It's in the EPA report. The report also says that technical grade insecticide, like they were producing, were not usable by farmers and others. They were too powerful. They were made to be diluted. They were too strong for a farmer to use. And you can read the report for yourself. Steve said he'd post it to the WEEB website, and we're going to name the document EPA1 so you can find it easily. Because we do have a lot of things up there, things that you can check on, things that go right back to the EPA. Now, the report goes on to describe how the whole process involved lots of chemical waste. In those days, they put the stuff in bags and in barrels, and they'd bury them. What a big deal in those days. The report says that chemicals also got into the soil and the air, and by means other than just being buried. But again, rather than bore you with all that, that document's posted. It's going to be called EPA1. Still using that document as a source, the persons investigating the site for the EPA stated they noticed pesticide odors in the air at the site. They also noticed crystallized finger-shaped substances that they believe was pesticide. All right. The report tells us about all the steps the emergency response teams took to try to mitigate the dangers, the emergency response teams. And they did a lot. And that's the things the school will tell you about. And you can read about that as well in that report. And it was pretty extensive. It had to cost a lot, and it looked like they spared no expense. But here's the thing. When all is said and all is done, one thing stands out. No one can tell us that it's 100% safe to build a school where we're building it. No one will produce a document saying this area is safe for a school and then sign it. In fact, the EPA, and by the way, the EPA was extremely responsive to my inquiries. I was pretty impressed by an organization I don't usually compliment. The document they sent me, the document that I got from them yesterday, clearly states that out of the 4 sites that are in our area of concern, 3 of them are still listed as, and this is a term, short-term protected. Short-term protected. One of them's listed as protected. And I'll read what it says about these 3 sites. This is a quote, although the remedy remains protective, current site COCs and remediation levels need to be reviewed, and if necessary, issue an ESD to amend the COCs and remediation levels to maintain protectiveness of human health and environment. In other words, they are still monitoring these sites because they are not 100% certain they're okay. Now let me ask you a question. This is a serious question. Imagine that you knew a pedophile had been released from prison. Not just any pedophile, but one of the worst in the nation. Kind of like our pesticide dumps. But imagine that someone knocked on your door and said to you, we've got a pretty good deal for you. We're going to greatly reduce your house payment if you'll allow this guy to live here in one of your spare bedrooms. Would you do it? Of course not. I know most of you are going to say, no way, that's stupid. What if they told you the guy would be next door? Or 2 houses down? Or 3 blocks away? Would you let your child play outside? No, you wouldn't. Well, wait. What if they told you, we can't say for sure, but we think this guy should be okay? They believe the guy was likely to be rehabilitated from being a child molester because they'd done everything possible to make him okay. But no one would write a letter and sign it and say, I guarantee you this pedophile will never harm another child. They wouldn't write that letter, and they wouldn't sign it because there's no way to know. And you sure wouldn't want that guy anywhere near your children, nor would I. Well, someone tell me, who is willing to put everything they have on the line to guarantee us the new school site is safe? No one. Not a single person can say to us, including the EPA. And the EPA has definitely done their due diligence. They have checked the land, and they are still telling us that it is short-term protected, and they're going to keep testing it every 5 years. How far away is far enough away for a pedophile? How far away is far enough away for a pesticide dump site to be built to near a school? Is it 10 feet? 500 feet? A half mile? That's what we're building, half mile away. Is that far enough? A heck of a lot of you are going to be asked to send your most prized possession in this world to this new school. And you're expected just to trust our school officials. No, I don't know. I don't know for sure if it's dangerous. But that's the point. Neither does anyone else. What kind of an idiotic move is it to build a school right next to a pesticide dump site, well, a half a mile away? What kind of move is it to take any chance at all? Why would we do that? I just don't understand. Aberdeen's famous for getting the worst of everything. They have no political pull to speak of. The folks that live there aren't particularly politically connected. They've had that crummy school all these years. I've heard you talk about it. I've heard school officials talk about it, and I've heard the commissioners talk about it. And finally, we build a school for them, and look where we build it. After all, this is Aberdeen. Kept these kids in that other dump all this time. We got away with it. And Helena Wallen Miller, you're on notice. There's going to be no passing the buck on this one. I want to tell you, I pray you're right. I seriously hope that now that you weighed all the evidence and decided that short-term EPA fix is good enough, I seriously hope you're right. No sane person hopes a child or a teacher will get sick just so they can say, see, I told you so. Nope. And as you know, my family's already felt a loss caused by an evil disease, so I wish this on no one. You can get as angry as you want. I'm not exactly intimidated by you guys. My kids would not have attended a school at the Aberdeen Love Canal, and don't try to lay this at the feet of the county commissioners or anyone else. You are giving your blessing to this site, and that is your job. You're the responsible party, and liability aside, I hope you can live with it. Let me change gears here for a second. At the school board meeting, I heard lots of grand speeches, and they were grand speeches. Parents and others talking about, of course, education. And most of them were speaking pro or con about redistricting. Well, let me say a word to all of you who are so proud of your schools. I want to talk about the irony of the parents who accuse those against the redistricting plan of having motives related to class or economic or race, the very reasons that were being given for redistricting strategies by Dr. Bob. You know why some kids do well and others do horrible? Well, I'm about to tell you. And of course, this does not hold true across the board, so don't try to nail me down on this. This is, generally speaking, going to be true. And the reason that a lot of kids do poorly is because of parents. The parents who spoke at the school board meeting were good people. They care about their kids. Every single parent who spoke is a good parent. And their kids are smart, and they do well, and they're impressive by anyone's standards. But you know what? Your kids have parents who take them to ball practice and music lessons and send them to camp and make sure they're taken care of and get a good lunch. And they go up and speak at school board meetings. Of course that child's going to do well, and I'm glad for them. What about that other group of kids that we don't really talk about? The ones we don't speak of unless we're condemning the teachers that have to try to teach them. I'm talking about the kids whose parents are addicts or drunks or just plain worthless. I'm talking about others other parents who aren't that and aren't high all the time, but couldn't care less about their kids' education, and you know they're out there. I'm talking about other parents who can pay for their cable TV somehow, but can't find a way to scrape enough together to put together a child's lunch. And please don't try, please don't try to tug at my heartstrings with all your stories why you think this is okay and why we should take care of everybody instead of teaching personal responsibility. I was cursed with a tender heart, too dang tender at times, and I'm sick of this victim thing. I'm not buying it anymore. As long as you can pay for a bottle of beer, a lottery ticket, a cigarette, an iPhone, and the bill that comes with it every month, a manicure, a big screen TV, or anything else that mom or dad wants, you should have enough money to apply that time and money towards your child first, before you get all that stuff. Your number one priority should be your child. And, of course, the parents that need to hear this aren't listening. Now, there are parents who are unable to take care of their kids for reasons they can't help. Of course, we get that, but every single person listening to me knows there's a heck of a lot of kids out there who are not being taken care of by mom and dad who should be. Work 2 jobs if you have to. Until we start holding parents and students responsible, and in general, the people of this county and this great nation, we will see no changes. And you know what? You know what that means? It means we'll see no changes, because we are never going to hold these parents responsible. We're going to keep trying to invent new programs, new ways, new excuses. Let me ask you another question. How many of you out there earned your own way? How many of you made something of yourselves against some pretty big odds? Almost to a person, the one thing you have in common is you had parents who cared about you and pushed you, set a good example. Not all of you. Some of you broke the chain, broke the circle, and you're now the ones who set the example. I guess what I'm saying here is that we become a nation of excuse makers, a nation that figures out reasons why people are too stupid to make a success of themselves, or even be able to say the word success, which I'm not having much luck with. I think we've got to stop that. I think parents should support their kids, not just financially. Let me say that again. Is this controversial? I think parents should support their kids, not just financially. How about checking their homework? If you don't understand it, check it to make sure they're doing it at least. And then check with the teachers and see how your child's doing. I keep hearing about new programs to do this or to do that, and I'm sure that some of those are fine for some students who can't possibly get any help. But how about kicking some of those parents in the butt? You know how you do that? I don't either. I don't know how you ever make them care. Probably will never be able to. Now, that probably made some of you angry. I could have talked all I wanted about the importance of teaching your child about recognizing the 52 different varieties of gender. That would have been fine with you. And worse, some of you'd like me to state that if you don't acknowledge that there are 52 varieties of gender, then you're an evil, hating person. Well, I don't. I don't acknowledge such foolishness, and it is foolishness. 52 types of gender? I couldn't even think of that if I had to sit around a table for an hour and a half and try to come up with something. There are certain discussions where politeness got no place at the table. I'm speaking of reasonable people here. We tried that. Look where it got us. Last thing I want to say is, I guess the school board's just going to ignore the whole John Barath thing. Looks like they've chosen just to turn a blind eye to it. I'm talking right now about the part about him and his old employer, SFLA Architects. Shows once again who's in charge around here, doesn't it? And as for our $1.5 million bid bond money, well, they've already announced they're not going after that. Wasn't worth the risk, they said, $1.5 million. They won't stick their necks out for school money because there's always more. And you know where they keep it? They keep it in your pocket. What do the odds have to be for these guys to take a risk? I should have said these ladies and gentlemen to take a risk. Well, they'll take a risk with a school near a pesticide dump. I got to tell you, if you can't hear it in my tone of voice, I've just about had it. The decision's been made by the school board already. They're building that school, and there's nothing you can do about it. Tried to fire Dr. Bob 2 years ago, and a mob showed up, and I was part of it. Hundreds of people, thousands were involved online. Build a school near a pesticide site, and we can't get anyone to be concerned about it. The people who control the board have told them to build it, and it will be built. Not a person alive is going to put a signature on a piece of paper that says it'll be okay, but it may not. But it may.
What still concerns me, John, maybe you can explain it better since you go to these board meetings and everything, isn't the school board breaking the law? And don't they have a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayer or to the community to go after this bid bond? Because the statute says if you want to withdraw your bid, you must do it within 72 hours. They didn't come anywhere close to that. And that's pretty plain and simple. And the only reason you can withdraw it then is for a math error. Well, no math error or no withdrawal, attempt to withdraw the bid occurred in those 72 hours. And that's the only way the statute says you can withdraw that bid. Otherwise, you forfeit the bid bond. And how can they not follow the law and get the bid bond? Because that is our money.
Well, it is our money, Steve, and I have not heard any school board member say anything about them not having, let me start over again. I think everyone agrees that they probably owe us that money. They probably do. I think absolutely they do. But the disagreement is, and of course they are attorneys sitting there at the school board, the ones who advise the school. They have a group of attorneys and folks who advise them, and they're telling them, yeah, we may get it, we may not, but it's just not worth it to go after.
Why would we not? It's pretty cut and dry. You didn't do it in 72 hours. You wait 12 days to make any inquiry about it, and it's too late.
Well, that's see, the folks like myself and you and Jeff and the people listening, that's how we think. That's the kind of thing that we believe. But when you talk to people who are spending other people's money, what do they care? Why would they bother going after $1.5 million when all they have to do, and they will, they'll be back to school, to the county commissioners, saying, we need millions more. Why would they bother going after it when they keep it in our pocket?
Well, it's also, they have that mentality is, well, that's more work and it doesn't pay us extra, so why should we care? And another thing is that they're giving out false information saying, well, we'd have to sue them for it. No, you don't. You put a claim in on that insurance policy that they tag to that bid at Travelers Insurance and say, okay, they didn't perform, so we keep the bid. We want our bid bond money. And let Travelers take it up with Clancy and Thays. But it's not between us and the insurance and Clancy and Thays. It's between us and that insurance company, which they insured it, pay off. And if they don't, then ask the insurance commissioner to find out why they're not performing on their insurance policy.
Well, indeed, it is Travelers Insurance, and once again, you'll be able to find that on the WEEB website where everything's posted. They had to put up $1.5 million. Well, I shouldn't say $1.5 million. $1.5 million plus. It's 5%. They had to put up that bond with Travelers Insurance, and I'm with Steve. Why wouldn't they go after it?
Well, I just haven't been here for a number of years now and haven't talked to a variety of people. A lot of this is pure laziness. This is a well-to-do county for the most part down here around in our area where the station is anyway. And a lot of the attitude is amongst the well-to-do is, hey, that's just a couple of bucks out of my pocket. I won't name him, but there's a certain individual who, loves to tell you what you ought to do with your money. Now, he's a fairly wealthy individual. He could easily take a lot of his own money and do the things he wants to do, but he wants to make you take a couple of bucks out of your pocket. And, the majority of the people here just don't feel it because, they're having their beer, they're having their TV, they're having their cell phone and all that kind of stuff, and it's just nickels and dimes. But you do have a lot of people in the north end of the county and south end, et cetera. A couple of bucks means a lot to them, and we're not doing them a good service here.
Let me just tell you how right I think you are. When I hear people that go to the school board meetings, and I'm quoting, raise my taxes.
Yeah.
Well, aren't you magnanimous?
Right.
You need to go to the store sometime and look at, I actually saw this one time. That's why I keep using the same example over and over. An old couple holding up a can of green beans, and I could hear their conversation, and they were trying to figure out if they could afford to buy it this month. Now, $10 a month, $3 a month may not be much to some people, but to some people it is. Raise our taxes? I have a better idea. How about spend our tax money wisely? How about that? How about manage the money we give you?
Yeah, but that's the thing. Doing that is actually hard. Doing that is having to make a hard decision about, oh, gee, do I need my supercilious tile floor, low maintenance tile floor that costs well above what a standard style tile floor would cost? And it's not going to last any longer. I've heard all of that before. It doesn't work. And, hey, we're going to have a school, and it's going to be environmentally controlled. And, gee, if the power goes out, it'll maintain its temperature for 2 or 3 weeks before you'll notice a difference. Well, that's great. But over the summertime, why are you powering the thing anyway? It's empty a lot of the time. So, a lot of these things that we're putting in these schools are unnecessary. You need a school environment for a kid to go in there for his particular classroom time and learn something. You don't need to spend $30 million for a school.
Oh, my gosh, that's so high. I cannot leave here without talking about redistricting. If you remember back to 2015, when Bob got fired by the school board, and we humiliated the school board, and we forced them to rehire him, and then most of them resigned. If you think back to that, and I was there. In fact, I stood up and gave a speech and could say anything I wanted, and the crowd was cheering madly. And it was pretty disgusting to compare with today. The parents today who are trying to fight this redistricting thing are being treated horribly. And I think it's a huge mistake on the part of the school board being led by Dr. Bob. They have these meetings, and literally the parents are not allowed to speak. Now, I got to tell you, that is about the most unwise decision I could possibly imagine someone making. Well, in a whole list of unwise decisions they've made. What is wrong with having an open microphone and allowing every single parent that wants to come before you at your supposedly open meeting to discuss redistricting? Why wouldn't you allow those parents just to speak, no matter how much you disagree with them? I don't understand why they couldn't give you their opinion. Now, the reason I mentioned the year 2015 was because back when it was something you wanted, you allowed anyone to say anything they wanted, no matter how harmful, no matter how derogatory, about the old school board and about the virtues of Bob, while the entire audience cheered to just about every speaker they had. So hypocritical, such a wrong way of doing things, and proves to me once again that you, the current board, could not care less about input from citizens. You take the figures and you twist them around and you put out false information, and the pathetic pilot prints it for you. I don't even know why they bothered to send a reporter to these things.
Well, they did that. They printed them verbatim about this $1.5 million and trying to make it sound like, oh, we don't know what we're talking about. You can read the law. I can read the law. I know what it says. We're due the $1.5 million. It'd be nice if the school board would grow a pair and get it.
You know what else?
That's what we elected them to do.
Well, we did, and we thought they would. And I've mentioned this before, but Helena Wallen-Miller, the chairperson of the board, is one of the two persons who was running the Facebook page that got us all so stirred up in the first place. And it was perfectly fine for her when we were speaking out in those days, and she was helping to lead the fight and did a good job of that. But now, nope, doesn't want to hear us. Be quiet, sit down.
Well, I tell you what, I see this not only with the school board, but all the boards around here. The tail wags the dog. Gramercy and John Barath are wagging the school board. They don't have the guts to wag their own tail, and they're so afraid of ticking off their tail that they won't ever turn against it.
Well,
they're afraid of ticking off Gramercy and Barath because, oh, what we do without them? oh no, we just can't survive without them. They're just so, they won't, and no matter how bad the decision is, they always back it. It gives them a godlike syndrome, and they think that they can do no wrong, and every one of their decisions are just perfect and never without a flaw in it. And they are being so duped, so bad, and they don't have the guts to stand up to them and run to their own board. They are not on top of their business.
Well, they're not. And I told them the other night, there are some good human beings on that board.
What did they say to you the other night? Anything?
No, they have a no respond policy, supposedly, until I left, and Helena announced that I was incorrect. They're not building it on the fun site. They're building it near the fun site, and she's right.
Actually, there are 2 fun sites, right?
There are 3.
3?
Well, there are actually 4, but 3 are declared short-term ready now, and that's where we're at. But I don't, you're talking about growing a backbone. I don't know why parents are not more concerned about this. That's my biggest disgust right now, is that there's no public outcry, and I reckon it's because their schools are putting out information that, while true, it's not all the truth. It's like saying, this guy's a pretty good guy, but he killed a kid a couple of years ago. Well, we need the whole truth.
Yeah. Well, it's a shame that we are where we are. I guess the only alternative is to either bring the SBI in to get to the truth about this money, because $1.5 million, I'm not walking away from it. You're not going to walk away from it.
Well, I'm not sure if it's a crime, because they can make any kind of poor decision they want to about going after someone who stole from them, or
they
not.
Can read the statute. Says 3 days.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And we went way beyond that. It's pretty cut and dry, and that's our money. And if you don't go get it, you're stealing from me, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm still not sure it was a crime.
All right, well, so it goes for this Wednesday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow, 7 to 9 for a Thumping Thursday. Until then, be sure to support all the mom and pop businesses you hear on our airways, because they are the backbone of our economy here in Moore County. Your money will stay here, roll over, and create jobs for all of us. And don't forget, millions of Americans, they have fought and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. So live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adamson, the Leader Man, and Dick and Coach the Dog. We'll all see you at 2 o'clock this afternoon at the Sunny Dog Park. 3 smaller ones was scuttled, and the past practice of using a, quote, neighborhood standard
from the Zoom Walt Zone.
Comfortable conditions will remain in place, but our warming trend will begin as we go into the afternoon.
Here on Talk 90.
And mid-80s to the south. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And now.